The Suffolk countryside was no stranger to whispers of the unknown, but the past few years had brought an eerie resurgence. It began subtly, unsettling sounds in the dead of night, fleeting shadows glimpsed at the edge of headlights, and the unmistakable unease that comes with being watched. For decades, big cats had been dismissed as myths, their presence relegated to the occasional wild tale. By 2018, they had seemingly vanished entirely. Yet now they were back, prowling through the thick woodlands and coastal peninsulas of Suffolk. And this time, they weren't confined to the old stories of early morning hunters or night shift farmers. The first reports came from dog walkers, women navigating quiet trails in the early morning mist. One described the chilling sensation of eyes on her, turning just in time to catch a sleek black shape slipping into the undergrowth. Another, driving home late, swerved instinctively as a muscular, shadowy figure darted across the road, its size far too large for any domestic pet. Unlike the past, when such sightings were the domain of men in rugged occupations, the witnesses were now diverse. Mothers walking their children to school, couples on coastal holidays, and even cyclists along the Saxmundham paths began sharing tales of encounters with creatures that shouldn't exist. Each account added weight to a growing, undeniable pattern. Suffolk wasn't merely home to scattered feral cats. It was a hunting ground for something far more dangerous. Among the most unsettling reports were the sounds. In the space of a year, 3 different witnesses described low guttural growls that resonated in their chests. A man near Nacton Shore swore he heard what sounded like a heavy object being dragged across concrete. A woman in Bawdsey described a sound she could only liken to a saw grinding through wood, sending shivers down her spine. An online audio file of a leopard's growl circulated among those brave or foolish enough to listen. "Exactly that," one witness whispered, pale-faced. "That's what I heard." The sightings were concentrated, almost territorial. The Felixstowe Peninsula and its surrounding areas became hotbeds of activity, with black, sleek forms spotted stalking through moonlit fields or perched, watching in the distance. Some described them as resembling melanistic leopards, their glossy coats absorbing what little light touched them. More elusive, but equally unnerving, were the lynx-like cats seen near Shotley and Bawdsey. Their tufted ears and calculating eyes spoke of a predator far removed from any feral stray. These creatures weren't scavengers, they were hunters, their territory defined by the bones they left behind. Beyond the big cats, another enigma began to surface, creatures dubbed Meso-Predators. These were massive feral cats, far larger than their domestic counterparts, and just as deadly. In Brightwell, a trail camera captured a chilling image. A black feline stretching nearly 3 feet long, its piercing eyes glowing in the camera's flash. In Ditchingham, the stripped carcass of a young muntjac deer offered grim evidence of their ferocity. The teeth marks suggested something bigger and more powerful than any ordinary stray. While skeptics pointed to misidentifications, a large dog here, a wandering exotic pet there, the sheer volume and consistency of reports were impossible to ignore. Suffolk's big cats were no longer the stuff of legend, they were here, their presence growing bolder with every passing year. The whispers turned to warnings. Dog walkers carried whistles, cyclists travelled in groups, and locals avoided the woods after dusk. Still, the question lingered. What had drawn these predators back to Suffolk? Was it a natural migration, an escape from captivity, or something more sinister? A sign that the wild was reclaiming its territory?